Today on RATTLECAN Fab Shop, we're going to make the simplest, most basic welding accessory, and if I can do it, I'm pretty darn sure you can do it. Stand by. Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. I am James, and today we're going to make the third hand, or as I like to call it, the magic finger. Very useful for holding something down on your welding table. It's just that simple. If you want to, you can add a weight on here. I'm not going to, golly, that's still hot. If you want to, you can add a weight to this. We'll just wait and see, because I don't want to touch that again because it's hot, it keeps burning me. At some point in the future, I think we're probably going to braze some copper on the points of contact here, because you know you should always have 3 points of contact. But for now, what we're going to concentrate is on this joint and the two very small welds that we're going to make. And these are the first welds of the series. Not the first in the shop. We'll talk about that later. No, we won't. Anyways, let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is I've got a piece of 3/8" rebar that I found in a corner a couple of years ago when we actually first got the shop. And we're going to clean the rust on it. It's kind of gross, and you know, they hammer into you in school, work on clean material. We're going to have about a 90-degree bend or so, maybe even a little less, on this tip, so that the finger can come down and hold the piece that we're going to be welding. Now, you can heat this up and bend it, although it's suggested you don't. So we're going to try a little trick. I've got a piece of black iron pipe here, and then I've got the persuader that we're going to sit over the top of it, and with any luck this will just bend yeah, that's all right. So then we can sharpen this to a point, and then perhaps even braze some copper on the end of it, so that we make good electrical contact. So now we're just going to cut off this section, and then we're going to make the bendy part out of the remainder of this. If you don't have a grinder, you can use a hacksaw. I've torn my shoulders up sanding guitars over the years. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use a cut-off wheel on my grinder and cut that off. So I'm going to change off of my flapper wheel onto a cutting disc. And what I've got is I have a selection of flapper discs that I've gotten from Benchmark Abrasives. This is not a plug for them. This is just, I'm trying this product out to see if I like it better than what I can get at my local big box store. The one thing that I do like about them is they roughly have twice the amount of individual pieces of sandpaper per 4.5" disc. It's like 45 versus 80. And they seem to chew through paint a little quicker. They seem to last a little bit longer. I had a deal where I was able to order a sample pack of theirs of flapper wheels and a cutting wheel and a grinding wheel samples. And then I also ordered, then I was able to get a 10-pack of an assortment. So all of this I got for 35 bucks. I can't get that at my local box store at that price. We'll see if they continue to run those specials. We'll see if we like them better than what I can get at my local big box store. I only have one grinder, so I don't want to be changing stuff out all the time. If these things will last longer, then I'm all for that. It's okay. Not the best. I don't like that. Those legs are uneven. We'll have to figure out a way to straighten those up. Maybe like that. Yeah, we'll grind the bottom of that so that it sits down on the table much better. Again, we may end up just brazing some copper to the bottom of it for a good electrical connection. Then we will weld this on the underside, and then we're going to put some sort of weight on the top. I haven't figured out what we're going to do with that yet. We'll come up with something. So let's get to the grinder, start prepping some of this. All right, we're gonna start working on this, getting this ground down to a point. If I had a big metalworking belt sander, that's what I would use, or a big disc sander, but I don't. I've got parts of my shop are dedicated to woodworking, and now we have this little small section of stuff that is dedicated more towards doing what we're doing here in the shop with the metalworking stuff. So we're going to use this this grinding wheel, and we're going to start shaping this up, trying to get it going. All right, well, that went quicker than I thought. Got that hogged off nicely, so now we'll just swap over to this flapper wheel. Is that the way I'm supposed to do that? You know, I don't really know. If there's a better way, and you can constructively create a way to tell me how to do that without making me cry, that'd be great. I'm one of those guys that I unplug stuff like this when I'm changing discs because I like my fingers where they are. This is my poor man's vise for right now. Okay, I think that'll do. So this, I'm going to try something a little different. I think I'm just going to try to round over this edge here because this thing is going to basically kind of be like this, holding down on something. And these 2 feet back here are going to rock back and forth. So let's try to round it over there. Well, we got a little sharp edge there. Roughly like so. Think of my big freaking ham fist out of the way, like that. All right, well now the fun part. Got to figure out a way to get that to sit there so we can get that welded on there. Stand by. I'm going to clear this bench off and we'll see what we can come up with. All right, let's talk about the things that we have going against us from the get-go. Number one, this is 3/8 inch rebar, and currently the welder that we have in the shop, courtesy a friend of the channel, Jay, which I'm contractually obligated to mention his name whenever I mention this welder, and he has decided to send his Lincoln SP135 Plus to vacation with us in our shop for a while. I've got 035 wire in it, and unfortunately I have it in a 20 amp outlet. I can set it higher than what it is, but it says that it is that is the maximum setting and that it should be plugged into a 25 amp branch circuit. So I have backed it off. I don't even know if this is actually capable of welding on this material. I don't know if we can dump enough heat in here to actually cause penetration on both sides of this. Now, this is not a structural weld. You know, we're not building a bridge here. We're not building an airplane. We're just trying to make something that'll hold something down. And this is kind of the pickle you get into when you're a home gamer and you got very little to start out with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to run a test bead on this steel left over from welding school and see if we can just at least get a couple of spot welds going. Because if we can do that, then we might be able to have somewhat of a chance of getting our weld to stick. Because what I'm planning on doing is trying to put a little bead in there and a little bead in there. And that's all we have to do. But given the machine that we have, and the limitations of what we currently have in the shop, this is only a 110 machine. I have 220 in the shop. In fact, I have 223 phase in the shop, but this is only a 110 machine, so we're limited on that. Now I don't have a 25 amp branch circuit, although now I'm thinking maybe that's something we'll have to rectify, because we are going to have to do some rewiring here in the shop to accommodate some things here in the near future. So anyways, I'm going to try to run this test bead, and you know, we'll see what we're going. I should also mention that I am running solid core wire. I do have 75-25 gas on the back end of this, so it'll be it's not like flux core wire. You know, we're going to have a little bit of a cleaner weld. Is really not liking that. See if that makes it any better, and let's get, there we go. Put the mic on the outside of my welding jacket, maybe that'll help. I'm asked about this frequently. Why do I wear this underneath my welding helmet? The reason I wear it under my welding helmet is because it keeps my breath from condensating on the inside of my welding helmet. I've done the old trick with Barbasol, you know, with just shaving cream. It seems to help a little bit. The best thing that helps is a mask, and to help it from getting up there in the first place. Not exactly pretty, but I think we'll give that a go. But I cannot freaking see. All right, let's give this a shot. All right. I think that'll do, pig. Well, that turned out better than I thought it was going to. Let's take a couple of pictures here. That way we can stick them up on the screen and be able to see them a little bit better. There's from the back end. There we go. There's from the front end. What are we set at? We were set at J8. I'll try to find a conversion table somewhere that will let us know what that is as far as amps and wire feed speed. And our, let's take a check. Our liters per minute were about 15. That puts it a little over 30 cubic feet an hour. And that is, let me double check. We're running 030. Yeah, we're running 030, 0.8 millimeter wire for you folks across the pond. So, see how many times I can step in front of the camera today. So anyway, here it is. Do I think this is the most amazing MIG bead that I have ever laid in my life? No. It looks like we've gotten a bit of penetration up here. There's a little bit of it down here on this back side. Same type of thing. There's a little bit here. There's a little bit there. Is this going to be sufficient for what we need it to do? I certainly hope so. And if not, I'm sure we'll figure out something even more rattle can to fix it with. So there it is, the third hand, or the magic finger, or whatever you would like to call it, accessory tool for the shop. Super simple, super useful, so easy, even I could do it. You guys have a good one. Cheers. Ah, it's freaking hot. So I could probably just pick this one up and, son of a, oh, smells like bacon. Ah, mother love bone. I hope you found this episode educational or entertaining, or maybe even both. You might want to check this one out as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified when new videos drop, and if you got comments, make sure you put them down beneath the sermon notes. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the RATTLECAN Fab Shop. Y'all have a good one. Cheers.